Pristine sugar sand beaches, warm ocean temperatures year-round, gorgeous sunsets, maybe the best beaches in the U.S. In this 4-part series of the best beaches of Florida, we started with the beaches of A1A, Florida's East Coast. There you had good beach accessibility, lots of free parking, although no sunsets. Then lastly, we showed the popular beaches of Tampa Bay, where we showed from Tarpon Springs to Sarasota, gorgeous white sand, but could use better accessibility. In this video, we'll continue where we left off there and move down the coast to Southwest Florida, where you have both gorgeous beaches, great accessibility, and sunsets. As far as spending a day at the beach, Southwest Florida has some of the best beaches because, unlike Tampa Bay, you'll find the majority of the spots. With the exception of Fort Myers, parking is free, and it tends to be more convenient than in Tampa Bay. Most of these beaches were hit pretty hard during the hurricanes of 2024, and in 2025 we did videos of all these beaches. However, they were still in recovery mode. Well, now, a couple of years later, most of them are back to normal. Most would say these are not only the most beautiful beaches in Florida, but in the U.S. Although many who have visited Florida's Emerald Coast might have something to say about that. And speaking of, the Emerald Coast will be part 4 in this series, as next month we'll be doing Destin and also a video of Route 30A. We are Tampa Aerial Media. In the summer and fall, we film travel promos across the USA, but in the winter and spring, film Florida and the Bahamas that we recently did a video of. I try to include good and up-to-date info to help you make the most of your leisure time so that you don't waste your hard-earned money or your time. Make sure to subscribe and drop a like and share our videos, trying to get to 300,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Lord willing, planning a big summer of traveling, which will include Texas, Colorado, and California. Bailey's been seeing all these videos we did in the West with Bella, and she says, I want to go out West. There are a lot of expenses in filming, so I appreciate your super chats, using our product links and memberships, as well as your comments, all very encouraging to me and Bailey, and helps me to continue to put forth the effort to give you good content. We upload raw footage and previews for channel members. So now, it's the best beaches of Southwest Florida. We start 30 miles south of Sarasota, just south of Siesta Key, where we ended our best beaches of Tampa Bay video. This is Nokomis Bch, one of my favorites on this list. There's plenty of free parking here. You have full restroom facilities with a good cafe where you can rent loungers and umbrellas. It is ADA accessible with a boardwalk crossover that takes you to the beach. But there's no ADA mobility mats to get you to the water, but you can rent beach wheelchairs by calling 311 with the Sarasota County Parks. This is a good beach for finding shells. You can buy shelling tools at the cafe. This area known for shark teeth. You can do boat tours with Keys Hookah Dive, looking for shark teeth. They do 3 to 4 hour diving and snorkeling tours from $99 to $199 hookah dive, which is a simplified version of scuba diving. And about 3/4 of a mile down the beach is North Jetty Park at the Venice Inlet. There's a long walkable jetty that is popular for fishing. This also has Sharktooth Beach Concessions, a good cafe that also has lounger and umbrella rentals. And there's kayak rentals here, where people often go to Snake Island, a little island in the inlet here. So with plenty of parking, concessions, rentals, to me, this makes Nokomis one of the best beaches in Florida. Now, South Jetty Park across the inlet in Venice would have been on this list, but has remained closed after Hurricanes Milton and Helene brought catastrophic damage. It's going to cost millions, and just the permitting process alone could take a couple of years. A congressman is working to secure $15 million for repairs, but don't expect it to reopen till around 2030. Our next beach, further south, still about a 30-minute drive from Sarasota, is the Venice Pier. Good news here. Since our video a year ago, This pier has fully reopened. This is really the only golf pier open south of Tampa Bay, and it's a good one at 700 feet long. It's open 24 hours, 7 days a week. Free admission. There's a bait shop. No fishing licenses required. There is also free parking here, and a couple of great waterside restaurants with Sharky's on the pier and Fins at Sharky's with a full menu of steak, seafood, and sushi. There's lounger rentals on the south side of the pier at Sharky's. The sunsets here are some of the best in Florida. Now, dogs are not allowed at Sharky's on the pier or the beach or the pier, but they are allowed at Fins at Sharky's. And there's one of the best dog beaches just a couple of 100 feet south of the pier at Brohard Paw Park, where dogs can run off-leash. Also, want to give an update to Gasparilla Beach to the south. It is open to pedestrians and bicycle traffic, but the main access road and parking lots and restrooms are still closed. Visitors can access the beach from South Brohard Park. It's about a quarter of a mile walk, and then Gasparilla Beach stretches for another 2 miles. So if you like undisturbed beaches, this is it. Even more undisturbed now that there's no vehicular traffic. About a 45-minute drive from Sarasota is Manasota Key Bch. Parking is free, and there's a big lot. Tends to be a little less crowded than nearby Englewood Beach, but it can fill up January to April. However, if you come before 10 a.m., you should be fine. Or the later afternoon, around 2:30 or 3, when the morning people start to leave. There's no concessions here, so you want to bring your own food. There are full facilities with outdoor showers. It's another good place for shelling, with lots of shells, but that also means maybe not so good to go barefooted. This area was hit hard by the hurricanes, where Manasota Key Road was destroyed, but it just opened back up after temporary repairs. It is still in the process of being fully reconstructed, so you might have lane closures, but it is open. It leads to our next beach, Pass Bch. This beach, similar to Manasota Key Bch, also fills up early, January through April, so come early. There's no concessions, but you do have full facilities. This beach, although you will find shells here, it is better for walking barefoot. There are lounger rentals here available through Key Beach Services, which provides chairs and tents from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. We moved to the south end of Manasota Key, where Stump Pass State Park is. It took a year to reopen this park, but it is now fully open. Although you'll find one major change. Hurricane Milton created a new pass, now named Milton Pass, thus splitting the park, making the south part only accessible by boat. It is $3 per vehicle to enter the park. This is a great place to kayak, especially now that you have an additional island. You'll find lots of wildlife here. And the beach is really good for finding shark teeth. Now, we go to Boca Grande, Florida, to Gasparilla Island State Park, located about 90 minutes from either Sarasota or Fort Myers. Even though it's physically closer to Fort Myers, you have to travel around the huge Gasparilla Sound in Charlotte Harbor through Boca Grande, so it makes for a 90-minute drive. It is a very reasonable $3 a day to park. And there's a $6 toll on the Boca Grande Causeway to get here. Now, there's very limited parking here, so you must come early from January through April. This is the Sand Spur lot, located at the Gasparilla Island Lighthouse. There's restrooms near the parking lot. At the south end of the island, you have 2 more parking lots at the Port Boca Grande Lighthouse Museum. Here, there are restroom facilities. And there's the South Beach parking lot with a beach bar and grill, as well as portables here. Again, in addition to being a clean beach, this beach is highly rated for a wide variety of shells often found here. Our next beach is North Captiva Island, not to be confused with Captiva Island. For this island, it is only accessible by boat or airplane. There's a couple of ferries from Pine Island. I'm taking the Island Club ferry. It's $29 each way. Once on the island, you have a little town square where you can rent a bicycle or golf cart, and there's a couple of eateries. You can make this a day trip, or there's many vacation rentals you can book on Verbal. This is a 4-mile long island, about a half-mile wide at its widest point. It has over 5 miles of true tropical beaches. Half of the island is a preserve. This, the ultimate undisturbed secluded beach getaway. This at one time was part of Captiva Island, but a 1921 hurricane separated the island. A look at Captiva Island. Our next beach, now at Fort Myers, is on Sanibel Island, just south of Captiva Island. Bowman Beach Park. There are no cafes here, but you do have several eateries on the island, a short drive away. There are good facilities here, restrooms, showers, but you pay for it with the hefty $5 an hour to park here. From the parking lot, you walk about a quarter of a mile over a waterway to the beach, so it gives you a more secluded experience. No lounger rentals here, so you have to bring your own. Also, all Sanibel beaches are dog-friendly. Sanibel and Captiva Islands were extremely hit hard by Hurricane Ian in 2022, and then, still recovering from that, was also affected by Hurricanes Helene and Milton in 2024. But now, finally, the majority of the hotels, rentals, and restaurants are back and getting back to normal. On the south end of the island is the Sanibel Lighthouse. This beach was recently renourished, so the beach is looking good again. This parking lot can fill up early during January to April, so come early. There's public restrooms and showers, but no cafe or lounger rentals. And parking is $5 an hour. Across the San Carlos Inlet is Fort Myers Beach. This beach, whose popular Times Square was completely devastated from Hurricane Ian, now 4 years later is coming back, but still has a ways to go. This year, the first new building since Hurricane Ian will be built will be Mel's Ice Cream at the site of the former Killwinds. It will open in early 2027. Also, the construction of the new Fort Myers Pier is set to begin later this year. It is expected to open by mid-2027. It will be a 1,000-foot long pier, 12 feet wide, with 3 sheltered pavilions on it. Now, Fort Myers is also a good place to go to Key West with the Key West Express ferry. It's about a 3.5-hour trip. We rode the Key West Express in our latest Key West video as it was being used by the Dry Tortugas ferry. It's a great way to travel to the Florida Keys. 50 minutes south of Fort Myers Beach is Lovers Key State Park. This is one of the best beaches of Florida's west coast. It has 2 miles of sugar sand shoreline. There's several trails through a shady maritime hammock with lots of migrating birds. There's kayak, paddleboard, and canoe rentals to explore a 2.5-mile estuary where you often see manatees and dolphins. And being a state park, it is a much more reasonable $8 per vehicle for up to 8 people, or $4 for a single occupant. There's lounger and umbrella rentals available on site, and excellent for finding shells. There is an open-air restaurant named Flipper on the bay side, located at Lovers Key Resort, adjacent to the state park. On the south end of Lovers Key is the dog beach that has an off-leash sandy mangrove area for a dog. While Lovers Key is technically in Fort Myers, this really begins the Bonita Springs area, and here are some of the best beaches of Southwest Florida. And unlike the expensive parking of Fort Myers, here parking is a more reasonable $2 an hour. The biggest park in Bonita Springs is Bonita Beach Park. Parking here definitely fills up quickly, so come early January to April. The restrooms and boardwalk area are still being repaired, so currently there's portables, but the new restrooms expect to be done by the end of 2026. Right at the beach is Doc's Beach House Restaurant. They have rentals for beach gear and jet skis, and a jet ski tour, as well as parasailing. 15 minutes south of Bonita Springs, we enter Naples with a couple of beaches I want to point out. There's Delnor Wiggins Pass State Park. This has some of the most pristine beaches in Florida. The beach area are all open so you can enjoy, but some of the parking areas and restrooms are still being repaired. So you might have to use portables. It is $6 per vehicle for up to 8 people, or $4 for a single occupant. The boat ramp, though, at parking lot number 5 is now open, and kayak rentals are available through Naples Beach Adventures. Dogs are allowed in the park areas, but not on the beach. And another 5 miles to the south is one of the best beach parks in Florida, in my opinion. It's Clam Pass Park. Parking is $10 a day, but it's worth it. It includes a shuttle over a 3/4 of a mile long boardwalk through a mangrove forest. This park has a massive 35 acres of coastal habitat. There's kayak and paddleboard rentals available. Dogs are not allowed here. At the end of the boardwalk is a cafe. Here there are lounger and umbrella rentals. So here, you get the best of everything. You can walk out to a secluded beach, yet you still have restrooms and food available. And near downtown is the Naples Pier, which has just begun construction for a new pier, expected to take about 18 months, so should be opening the summer of 2027. Now, I'm not going to cover downtown Naples or all the other activities in this video, but see our recent Naples Marco Island video, where we show all the boat tours and restaurants of Naples and Marco Island. Just a great getaway. Our last beach is in Marco Island, 45 minutes south of the Naples Pier, Tail Bch. This is another beach that is on a narrow strip of land out in the Gulf, in this case in the shape of a tiger tail. But unlike Bowman Beach Park or Lover's Key, there's no pedestrian bridge out to the beach. So you either have to do a long walk around the lagoon out to the beach, or just walk through the lagoon to get to the beach. And if you have to use a restroom, well, it's a long way back to the parking lot area. But while there's a little bit of effort to reach the beach, it is worth it. It is $10 to park, and there is no concessions or rentals. Also, this tail is much longer than what you see on Google Maps. From the parking lot, on the day I went, it was about a 2.5 mile walk to the very end of the tail. So this is great if you're looking for a good hike with wildlife, but it might be a lot of effort though if you just want to set up chairs and chill at the beach for the day. One thing I love about Florida is the variety. I love the old Florida style beaches, but last week we did Fort Lauderdale, where you have the water taxi, and you know, I really love that too. It has such a great vibe. It's so nice to have a wide variety of experiences in Florida. We'll be doing new updated videos of Southwest Florida once these piers are completed, probably later 2027 and early 2028. And next month, filming Destin and Route 30A. If you are traveling with a dog, these Cargo Dog backpacks are the best. It allows you to walk on some of these beaches that don't allow dogs, and it's just so convenient. I'll put a link below. Next, we are headed up to Savannah and Tybee Island. We'll be working with Historic Tours of America again to show you all that you can do in Savannah. And for our cross-country trip, I'm getting close to making the move to the RV side of traveling. Still considering a Class B, but leaning towards a lightweight, small trailer, perhaps a new camp Teardrop 360. So I'd be interested to hear in the comments your tips and advice. And as I plan the summer and fall schedule, let me know some of the places you would like to see, whether it be in Florida or across the country. If you have a vacation rental or travel-related business or an RV you want featured in our videos, contact me at info@tampaaerialmedia.com. Doing these videos can be very time-consuming, but your support, your comments, help to make it all worth it. So thank you very much. From Southwest Florida, I wish blessings to you, wherever you may be.